here's a quantum memoir. I'm about to start a new blank book, but first I just wanted to show an example of what this empty book will be filled with. It's a fruit of life pattern, these spheres, there's 13 of them. In the center, there's a purpose. And then each one of these outer spheres has a seed word that I use as a prompt or meditation to bring out ideas from my psyche, from my experience, my past, whatever, and put them onto the page so that I can see a broader view of what I'm creating in my life. So this is a thought form, quantum memoir thought form that I use in my art. So this book is complete. I'm going to set it aside. So then the actual memoir. When I started with this practice, all I used was the orange spheres and I would fill them in with information. And it was just the form that was the artwork that I did. Eventually, these pages, these forms started to compile together, and then that's when I could actually see that it's a memoir. So this is my memoir. This will be a new book that I'm going to do. It's completely blank at this time. So what will happen is I will have this spread. I'm going to start drawing my fruit of life on the left-hand side and doing my notes on the right, where usually I reverse them. But I like changing things up, seeing what kind of new ideas might come from them. So I'm never using this practice as like a dogmatic, systematic thing. Even though it's a system, it's a formula, I'm always changing the variables and the components so that I can try to get a different idea to come out of my mind into my life experience. Then I'm going to put my guide. I have these little crosshairs to match up my dot so I can see where the center of my page is. I'm going to draw my first sphere. And then from there, I'm going to start at the bottom. And then I work my way around. So these are the inner spheres. Let's go with these first. So this is the beginning of the fruit of life pattern. This is the core of the work that I do. And the center is the purpose. This is literally the core of what I do. Purpose. I'm always exploring topics, focuses, a purpose. I'm always putting something in the center and then I'm working ideas around it. So first I have my purpose. This is a seed word. Then we have ground. Then we have intend, observe, connect, express, and refine. So these are the inner seed words of the quantum memoir. These are the ones that, you have your sun, your purpose, your center in the middle. And then all of these kind of represent the growth pattern. You have your ground, your seed at the bottom, and then you move into your spring. And then you come up here to the zenith, which is your summer, your full moon, you're connecting. And then over here is your waning, your fall, you're expressing and refining. So these seed words are very specific to have helped me to create a momentum in my life so that I don't get stagnant in any one of these aspects of growth. Then the actual fruit of life has additional spheres in it. And this is all part of sacred geometry. I did not do this because of sacred geometry. It's just something that I found fascinating. I stumbled upon, it was interesting, I was inspired, and I went with it. I've only learned about sacred geometry from using this pattern. So I'm gonna add these additional spheres on those outer spheres that we did. So all I'm doing is adding one more to the outside ring of this fruit of life pattern. So what this does is it creates like an axis. Do you see it? So this is the fruit of life. This is the quantum memoir. These are the inner seed words. You could work it just like this and leave these blank without seed words and extend this word into this sphere if you need to focus like deeper into that direction. Another way you could do it is you could add your own seed word into these outer spheres. I do that quite frequently in a lot of different practices that I do, and I keep a theme that all of these seed words sort of relate to these outer ones, relate to one another, but they also relate to the inner seed word. So for example, I have a metaphysical practice that I do. And with the metaphysical practice, I have specific seed words. This one is body or elements. So earth, fire, water, air, ether, etc. This is an extension of this ground sphere. To me, the metaphysical aspect of this is the fact that the material aspect of life is actually created from the immaterial, the metaphysical. So to me, the body is a metaphysical thing. Then in this other outer sphere, I have this, I label it as chakra. I specifically work with the 7 chakras of the body, or you could call this Taurus, because there are other chakras besides the 7 that people most likely talk about. The earth is a chakra. The solar system is a chakra, or a Taurus, I should say. And then observe, for this sphere, I have this one labeled as zenith for my metaphysical practice. Again, these outer spheres are whatever you want them to be. The zenith to me is an experience outside of something that I can say that I thought of. This would be maybe an intuitive hit, you know, an omen or a sign from the universe, a dream, some sort of inspiration that seems dynamic. This is a message that I get from the quantum realm, I should say, and then I put that here. And then this metaphysical sphere I use as divination or tarot. You could use runes, you could use oracle cards, whatever, you could use whatever kind of sphere you want there. And then this sphere in my metaphysical practice I use for numerology. So if a number is coming up over and over again, I'll put it here. If a number comes up and it feels significant, I'll put it here. And I try to find a meaning, an interpretation to what that number is representing in my life relating to this purpose. And then my final metaphysical sphere I have is astrology. So whenever I'm doing this page on whatever my purpose is, something will come up that's related to astrology, whether it be a moon phase, something that's going on with the sun, something, you know, it's basically like space weather, or a relation to when I was born in my own astrology. I'll put a meaning or representation in there that relates to this purpose. So by the time I have this all filled in, I have a message that pertains to my life specifically and this purpose. And so this will be one spread. When I've completed this one, I'll flip an empty page and I'll come to a new spread. I'll draw another fruit of life, make more notes, and then I'll just keep going on. There's enough pages in this book that I will actually have 13 of these spreads of the fruit of life pattern. So this one memoir will have 13 of these thought forms contained inside of it. A book, a memoir, could have a theme. So this one didn't really have a theme, but I did. But I have one that looks just like this, that is my time manifest. It's all related to cycles of time. And then I have one of these that's related to philosophy. It's all about the stages of alchemy and philosophy. This one, I don't know what it will be yet because I'm on a journey of self-discovery now. It's literally a blank memoir for me to play with. But what I've been intuiting last night is that everything that I'm coming to with my work is that it's all related to art. I was very literal in the last book that I did. I used lots of words, and even I didn't do it very pretty. I kind of just scribbled notes a lot of the times. I was getting into a very mental state of mind. So what I want to do is I want to bring this back to art. So I'm going to make my purpose, and I've actually drawn this symbol, whatever it is that I'm about to represent. before, years ago. I can see it in my mind. But just because I've done it before doesn't mean I shouldn't do it again. Because now I'm going to see different aspects that I didn't see before. So what this is art. I'm going to step a little bit away from the psychology and the philosophy of thinking, and I'm going to try to somehow incorporate artwork into my thinking, like merge them together. So let's color this in, see if any other thoughts come up, and go from there. And I usually use orange as my color to represent art and creativity and expression, but I'm actually going to go with this blue color, which is closer to the throat chakra. Actually, the light blue might be more closer to the throat chakra. But I want to express my art in a way that it's not just written and visual. I'm trying to incorporate sound into my art, my voice. So I'm going to change this a little bit from what I would normally make it look like, because it's not just visual art that I'm trying to create. It's interesting. Yeah, what kind of art am I actually trying to create would be the better question. Or is why I'm doing this page, is to figure out what sort of art do I create. As far as like thinking about what I wanted to do with my life, you know, a long time ago, I thought I wanted to be a mom, but I think that was part of the program of society that I was supposed to be a mom. So once I no longer feel like I want to be a mom, a businesswoman, what is it that I've had a fascination with? It's with being an artist. My sister is an amazing artist. I drool over people that have this artistic, creative lifestyle in the past. And now I realize that I'm actually living that. Every single day, I am already living that. I wake up, I get to create. So what this is doing is this is helping me be present with the fact that I am living my best life already. It's happening. I don't have to try to go and be an artist. I already am an artist. And in fact, all people are. It's just a matter of application of what you're creating. You know, you might create, your art might be cars, it might be food, it might be raising babies. We all have a different form of expression, and that is our art. Maybe put a little shadow in there, and then I'm gonna bring that orange in after all. And I feel like even though I am doing a little bit of a doodle here, and that's the whole point of this, is to get back into the drawing aspect of my memoir and not just do words, is that I still feel hurried. I feel like I'm rushing instead of taking my time. And a lot of times that's probably why I don't do a lot of like really good art, like detailed art, even though I can seem to draw like realistic if I wanted to. I don't have the patience to do big forms of art, like big paintings or very detailed drawings. But I love seeing when other people do it. I just don't know that I have the application at this time to do it. My art is in these little bits, these little quantum bits, these little spheres. And they go along, my art goes along with whatever is going on in my mind. My art is my purpose. And it's more than just writing in this book. My life is my art. My whole lifestyle is my art. That's my purpose for this page. Let's see where it takes me.